Hello.
Hello. It's been a while.
Hey, it has. I think a few technical issues at the beginning there with the video playing the countdown, but we got there.
Yeah. So that's the thing. We've got like loads of streams to LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. But now you need premium on X to stream, which I don't know what you do. So it works on your account.
I
Doesn't
do.
work on my account.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Good to know.
So that was sad technical issue, but Reunited.
Yes,
I'm not gonna sing.
finally.
It's a good song though.
Yeah, I'm not singing.
Though we're missing someone.
We are. And there's only two of us, normally three.
Yeah.
A big
Sad
gap
times.
is missing.
But that will change in the future.
Yeah, he will be back. Do not worry. He's just busy with life, as we all are at times.
Yeah, so we'll accommodate for that in the future. Maybe we'll change some times and we'll figure it out. But Carl will be back. Don't you worry.
He will, definitely. We can't really do this without him.
No, it doesn't work with the banter. We need him for the banter.
For sure.
Yeah.
Put forward.
we need
a bit
of Irish. We need some Irish. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can't really talk about Cillian without Carl, you know.
Oh God, no.
All right. So it's been a while. Summer, a little bit before summer, we went to KubeCon, got renewed as MVPs as well. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah.
How was your summer?
It's been not as hot as I'd hope. Still got back issues from September last year, but they are slowly going away. Hopefully soon it should all be good. But yeah, and it's just been busy with work, with life, a few holidays, you know, it's all been good. But I'm glad to be back here.
You did not have summer holidays, did you?
No summer holidays. It was more of a January or February kind of May holiday kind of sort of thing. Yeah. So May's close enough to summer.
It's good. Yeah, I had 4 weeks. I was off for 4 weeks. It was
best 4 weeks I've had for a long time. No, I'm just joking. I missed you.
Damn. All right. We're only like 3 minutes in, mate.
No,
I know it was good. It was 4 good weeks. It was, you know, when they say, oh, you have to get used to not working for the first week and then you start enjoying it in the second week. I still think that's kind of true. And then you go into the third week, but the fourth week is the way you just forget you had a job. And then you get a surprise, like, oh, the fifth week is starting, which is work. And then it was all good.
So basically,
it was good.
Only ever have a 3-week holiday. Don't go 4 weeks because it's painful coming back to work.
It's painful coming back, though. I mean, still good. Still good. I might do it again in the future at some point.
Sounds good.
4 weeks. Went to Disney.
Disneyland Paris?
Yes. And we had like amazing weather. 30 degrees. Yeah. Did the Davy Crockett Ranch for a stay. That was good. 30 degrees. Then you have a bungalow in the woods. Nice and quiet. Nice. I really enjoyed that. Yeah.
Peaceful.
Yeah. And then I came back. And then the first thing we talked about was let's start up Cloud Native Weekly again. And so we did. And we're going to do some content planning going forward. We don't have a real technical demo or anything. So no 10 minutes in tech today. We will have that next week.
Yeah, we were just discussing it, so it should be good.
Carpenter next week. Carpenter, node auto provision, some AKS stuff, cool stuff coming up. But for now, let's talk about some news because lots has happened over summer, before summer. I think a lot happened in August. Lots of new things have been released. July was maybe a little bit quiet. August was pretty good. So let's move on to the news. I still got it.
Missed that.
I still got it. I can still click the buttons.
That was good.
All right. Let's just start with the big one.
Kubernetes 1.31 has been released, and it's got a cool name. I'm just trying to remember what the name was now. It's what was it called? Eli or something like that. It's got a picture of a dog, a really cool like orange dog with a sailor's hat on, and yeah, it's a really cool logo this time. I really like it. So last 1.30 was a cat, now we've got a dog. Wonder what animal we're going to get next. But with this release, there's a really cool feature that I'm like super excited about, and the ability to actually mount OCI images, so your container images, as volumes inside your pods and stuff. So this is perfect for your machine learning AI stuff. Think of your large language models. You can just attach those as volumes into your application pod, so you don't have to spend hours building and deploying and your application. It's really cool. I think this has been a long time coming, and it's definitely good to see this.
Yeah, we just talked about that earlier. I mean, I did no tech for 4 weeks on holiday, like no computer, nothing. And you were telling me about all that. And a couple of months ago, I did a session at Azure Lowlands on Kaito, among other things, which is running LLMs on Kubernetes, specifically Azure Kubernetes Service. That's what my demo was about. And the problem there was, well, it's not a problem. I mean, it's an amazing solution. But the biggest challenge you have is, let's say you need quick access to that LLM as per your use case that we're just discussing. You have a new container image. That image needs to be pulled. LLMs are great but huge, so take some time. Could take up from 10 to 15 minutes. But then you're saying, hey, what if you've got an application like a chatbot, anything, or something else, calculations, or provides an API or whatever, and it leverages an LLM in the background, and now you can kind of like asynchronously update that LLM because you're mounting the storage. I mean, I'm not saying that's the actual technical implementation, but this provides crap loads of features and opportunities that we can. That's a really, really nice feature. Really nice.
Another cool thing that came with Kubernetes 1.31 is AppArmor's gone GA as well now, which is really cool to see. That's been around for a long time, and finally it's gone GA. And just some other things to do with like security. So like new restrictions are included for anonymous API access and some other bits and pieces. But yeah, it's some really cool. It's a good release. It's good to see this new improvements happening and still in Kubernetes, and not just bug fixes and stuff. The innovation is always there, which I love.
Yeah, and like you said, lots of security features this time. Almost like as if it was one of the focus areas, but it's good. And then AppArmor, also happy to see that, because there are some Azure policies that report on AppArmor as well, that come back in, well, pen test reports. But I mean, let's not go into the nitty-gritty of what a pen test report is. It comes back in a lot of vulnerability assessments where people export whatever is in Microsoft Defender. And then we need to take a look at it. Now, with that being GA, it's interesting moving forward. Other stuff. Oh, I like this one. I really like this one.
Oh, yes.
It's it's specifically for private clusters. Use the AZ CLI to invoke commands into AKS. And why is this very interesting? It's like let's say you have a private cluster and then you need to connect using a VPN or a jump box, and you have those credentials stored somewhere, but you manage a lot of customers and something happened. And if I look at myself, I then spent more time figuring out how on earth I was going to access that environment again, where the credentials, jump box, VPNs, find a certificate here and there, call colleagues. Basically stuff I really don't want to worry about. If I know what the problem is and I know what the solution is and I just want to execute some commands, I can use the AZ CLI. I can run that on a private cluster and don't have to connect through very special kind of technologies. Exactly. And on top of that, you have another use case which you already implemented here and there, playing with it, which is also very impressive.
Yeah, so for me, like, I use Bicep a lot, infrastructure as code, but they have a Kubernetes provider, but not a Helm chart provider. And I want to install say Nginx ingress controller, cert manager, external DNS through Helm charts. I could use GitOps, but not everyone wants to use GitOps. So what I do is use this command, and I can run this command through Bicep, and I can upload the Helm chart, the values files, create that all on the fly using a bit of bash inside this deployment task, and it just does it all for me nicely, and get some nice feedback from it, and just works really, really well. So yeah, I've been playing with this a lot, and it's just so good because it just goes through the ARM APIs instead of going direct to the cluster, and then goes in and does some magic inside, which is really good to see. Yeah, I'm really happy with this one. I'm glad it's gone GA.
It's like one of those things, when you go through the Azure announcement, like, oh, that's a small thing, but it's such a good use case.
Yeah,
lifesaver can be a lifesaver.
Yeah.
KubeCon.
Oh, have to mention KubeCon, don't we?
KubeCon.
Yeah, KubeCon, Cloud Native Con. Hopefully, just trying to work out logistics because there's another thing happening like the week after, which we'll probably talk about next. Yeah, but this one's going to be awesome. It's Salt Lake City, November the 12th to the 15th. The schedule's live. The pre-days are being announced as well. So like the little cons. It's going to be epic. I think it's going to be one of the biggest ones we've seen, even though it is all the way in Utah, Salt Lake City. But yeah, if the logistics works, I'll be there. If not, then I'll be at the one in London next year, which will be cool.
I will definitely be going to the one in London. North America, logistics. But then you go and it's probably the biggest one yet. And I'm like,
No, Paris was the biggest one. So, London could be even bigger.
Yeah, but maybe. There's a question in the chat from Mark, which I think is regarding the AZ-CLI to run stuff on it.
So as long as you've got your Azure Container Instance, because that's what the deployment jobs used, resource provider registered, then they're not too bad. It's not as quick as you would do if you were doing Helm upgrade install commands, because it has to go spin up some resources in Azure to do it. But I've got a pipeline or a YAML file, a bicep file. Talking about YAML's always on the brain. I got a bicep file which can deploy a whole application landing zone, including these, including AKS, including virtual machines, SQL servers, configuring route tables, everything you can think of that is needed for an infrastructure. It does that. It even does some PowerShell DSCs on the virtual machines, and that takes about 30 minutes, including installing Nginx ingress, external DNS, and cert manager through the deployment jobs. And it also does the cluster issuers as well. So that's like 4 deployment jobs running, all the other bits running, and within like 30 minutes it's got everything deployed. So it's not too bad at all.
I think when it comes down to performance is what's the acceptable level of performance. And then as in IT, I mean, I hate saying it, and I always hate other people saying it. It depends. I mean, it does depend. If you're deploying a landing zone like you're just talking about, then you're already deploying loads of resources, and it's going to take time anyway. So this will just be some more time, but you're deploying the landing zone because you're building something new, greenfield, which is, it takes time. For a DR scenario, I'd say 30 minutes would still be acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
If it's for your day-to-day operations, then probably not. You will get annoyed because it takes time. Then you just want to resort to other technologies. All right, let's see what else we have. Oh, we're gonna talk about the next thing, KubeCon, and then we've got and if you look at it like November 12th to 15, and then November 19 to 21st, Chicago. Microsoft.
So you got time to go from KubeCon in Salt Lake City to Chicago, get an internal flight over the weekend, and it should all be good.
You'll have 4 days.
Yeah, it should be fun. I'm sure there'll be a pre-day or something with Ignite. Sometimes there is, or there's a lot of people around, so you can have your own little pre-days in the pubs or bars, as I think they're
Yeah, I
called
was
over
gonna
there.
I was
Really.
gonna say you got 4 days as
Yeah.
KubeCon ends on the 15th and then
Yeah.
Ignite starts on the 19th. But I've seen some people, no names, they probably have like 2 days to go from A to B because parties and
Yeah.
well, let's call it extended networking.
Yeah. Extended networking, very good term. But yeah, Microsoft Ignite is going to be huge this year.
Yep.
Last year it was a lot smaller. It was at Seattle. It was like the first one after COVID. This time they're taking it on the road again to Chicago, which is, I think it's at the same place where KubeCon in Chicago was last year. But I think it's going to be even bigger than KubeCon because they've got more space. And I think that's what they're saying online. It's going to be huge. So I'm excited about this one. And obviously with Microsoft Ignite, it's all about Microsoft technologies, but there's always a bit of open source stuff in there as well, like Dapper, Radius. They're all part of the CNCF project, which is good.
And yeah, I'm definitely, if I can get a ticket, I'm definitely going. Brings back memories. The last Ignite. What was that?
Yeah.
That we went to in person, Orlando.
Was it? Yeah. Was it 2018 or 2019? I can't remember, but yeah.
And let me crap. Was it 9th?
I can't remember. Anyway, it was in Orlando. That's where we first actually met in person.
I think it was
awesome.
19.
Yeah. And
what
I remember is the best part about it was the party at Universal Studios. Like Microsoft bought out Universal Studios and we got to go around and everything. But yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure it was it 19 or 18?
It was 19 because, hear me out, this is my theory. Sorry, going off topic, anyone listening, but hear me out. It was 2019 because we had COVID-19. Then in 2020, the MVP summit did not happen. It was canceled last minute.
Yes.
Before that, I did go to Orlando because I just made MVP just before. I was like, oh, I'm going to the MVP summit. I just made MVP, and then
and I'm
the
just
world
remembering,
yeah,
because I went to Disney with the wife for the first time in 2018, and then 2019 she came with me to Ignite, and she went off to Disney while I went to Ignite, so it would have been 2019. Yeah.
So we met in 2019, which
look at us now.
We're coming up on our 5-year anniversary.
We should party.
Oh, yes. We should make a special show out of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we work together.
Yeah. How fun.
How's that going?
Oh, I'm still here.
We're still here. We're still not fighting, so.
No, that's all good. It's a good relationship.
It is. With all the banter included. Yeah. All right. This one's yours because you're like Elasticsearch and Kibana.
Yeah, so like 3 years ago, Elasticsearch changed their licensing because of an issue with AWS and the forking it and stuff. I'm not going to go too deep into the history, but they have just announced they've open sourced it again. So if you want to use Elasticsearch and Kibana and you're all about open source, you can use it again, which is really cool. So yeah, go and have a look at that if you want to. Just really cool to see that there's still companies out there who care about the open source world. Yeah, it's nice. I like it.
Which is an interesting development, seeing as we see a lot of licensing going the other way. I mean, not saying that it's no longer open source, but companies make different choices, which, we did have some good discussions about that a couple of months ago. But I mean, good reasons, bad reasons, everyone's got their reasons, but still understandable. Seeing this here, MVP 20. I got it in February, book tickets. I think it was like 2 weeks before the summit. They went like, no, it's not happening.
Yeah, because it was going to be on my actual birthday as well. I was going to be at Summit on my birthday and then celebrate it. But in the end, I moved into a house, so it was all worked out well.
Just so you moved.
Yeah. Just before the lockdown happened, I moved into my new house, which was good.
Lucky.
Yeah, very lucky. Yeah.
All right. And then we have Dapper.
Dapper,
You put this. Dapper, you
yeah.
put this here. 5 years of
I
Dapper.
love Dapper. Dapper's awesome. Yeah, because Dapper was announced at Ignite 2019. So yeah, 5 years ago.
We're
Oh
coming
yeah,
full
we could.
circle. This is what a show. What a show.
Yeah,
I got goosebumps.
yeah. I still have the shirt somewhere, the Dapper shirt that I got from Ignite on that day
The
at the
blue one with
announcement.
the white.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
From Mark Razonovich, and that's when I first met him as well. But yeah, October the 16th, 5 years of Dapper. It's an online sort of conference. It's 5 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. CET or 8 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. PST time. So work that out on yourselves. But yeah, if you just search for Dapper Day in Google, you'll come up with the links to register for it, and it looks like it's going to be good. But I love Dapper. It's the building blocks of microservices.
The thing and the thing with Dapper, I've got the same T-shirt, by the way, but I think I still have it somewhere, but I wore it so many times, doesn't look that good anymore. So I know, Mark, what do I need to do to get a new T-shirt? I just want a new T-shirt. But you put it in like Dapper, 5 years Dapper. I did not realize. To me, Dapper is like 2 or 3 years old. Just a feeling. I mean, it was released 5 years ago, but
it was
did not know
released
it's been 5 years already.
What was it, Rudder or something it was released with at the time? I'm just trying to remember back 5 years ago. And the open application model, I'm sure Rudder was there as well. And Dapper took off. It's been a slow burner to start off with, but we're seeing it more and more. There's companies out there now that are just building on Dapper, like Diagrid and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just awesome to see how it's progressed. And they have community managers now, like Mark Ducker. I probably butchered that name, so I apologize, Mark. There we go. Thank you. And yeah, he's doing amazing stuff, getting the name out more and the use cases, and just doing lots of really cool stuff with it. So yeah, if you want to go and look at what he's doing, check it out.
And he did a session on Dapper for our show somewhere last year. And we also talked about Diagrid, which is a good solution. They've got very nice solutions. If you're using Dapper at scale, then definitely look at Diagrid. For telemetry, anything is really, really
nice
good.
UI for it as well.
Yeah,
it's really cool. Yeah,
which is always the question, right? Do you need a UI? But for telemetry, it's probably a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. I think everything needs a UI in the end. Like, let's look. Digress a bit, but let's look at GitOps. We got Flux and we got Argo. Which one seems to be winning the most is Argo because of the UI. So people say they don't want a UI, but everyone wants a UI.
Yeah, I'm pro UIs, which how am I kidding? I'm not pro UIs. Command line. No, the thing with UIs, I think they're very beneficial unless they promote ClickOps. Right? If the automation capabilities need to be there for command line or anything, and then if you have a dashboard for telemetry or that helps you dig into stuff. I mean, yes, I'm all for a dashboard where I've got all my open telemetry data. I can click and zoom in and get into the nitty-gritty of things and find out what the problem is. That is amazing. But I also see a lot of dashboards or very functional dashboards that promote ClickOps, which I still get. I mean, sometimes ClickOps is faster, but it's very hard to repeat. It's very hard to automate. You don't know what people are doing. I get it.
Say no to ClickOps.
I'm also opinionated. I've got the sticker on my laptop.
Yeah, I've got it.
You got it somewhere there because you flash it every single time you see someone clicking.
Is it
gonna focus or not? There we go. See, stop
ClickOps.
That's literally what he does every time we're in a work meeting and someone is doing ClickOps. He starts showing them.
Hey, it's either that or Fippy.
What? sometimes I just wonder every time we talk about something, you're like, oh, I've got this. What
Yeah.
must your desk look like?
Oh, I've got
Because to
fidget
me, it's like,
toys and
I mean,
everything everywhere. It's crazy. Hey, at the moment, I even
I just
have
have a bottle of water.
a camera extending arm thing. I'm playing with my GoPro at the moment with a gimbal to see how that works for conferences and stuff. So yeah,
Why?
you know, I like technology and I like to fidget. So I have a lot of things on my desk. But yeah.
I bet nobody's ever seen it, but I bet it's just the biggest mess you've ever seen.
I also have a GitOps Rubik's Cube.
Yeah. Oh, I like that one.
Yeah.
That's right, Mark.
Yes.
That is it.
100%.
I used to do a session on for ISVs and Microsoft App Service, and then I always talked about back in the day ARM templates, not Bicep. Bicep didn't exist back then. And I always said, friends don't let friends click in the Azure portal, or friends don't let friends go on the point and click adventure.
Right-click deploy to your function app.
And we're moving on to the next thing. What else have we got?
So
I think we got one more CNI stuff. We're not getting into the details of this because Carl's not here. And when we talk about CNI and networking, we need Carl. Carl is our networking guy. I'd say that even though he no longer works at the same company that we do, if I've got very complex networking stuff, he's still like top of my list.
Yeah,
to ask.
He loves a good challenge about networking.
Yeah. But all things AKS CNI, lots of developments. We've got Azure CNI powered by Cilium and Azure CNI overlay support in AKS, and that's what I found interesting. Azure CNI overlay Windows support in AKS. That came sooner than I expected.
Yeah, for sure. It's good to see because now you don't need to have KubeNet. And yes, friends should not let friends use KubeNet. So it's good to see that they're putting effort into getting Windows support on these new CNIs. I love it.
I was just thinking, should we start a KubeNet discussion? But let's not do that because we're coming up on 30 minutes.
Oh, no.
Maybe
another time.
Yeah. Next week, we're going to talk about Carpenter.
Yep.
And node auto provision, because that is one awesome feature. We have some demos on that already. We play with that a lot. And I would argue that the more scaling capabilities you get on AKS, I mean, now you got node auto provision, which technically Carpenter, but different ways to scale. It's the use cases. I mean, you cannot even discuss them in 2 hours. You could do a 2 or 3 day boot camp just on scaling capabilities on AKS, which excites me because it's the use case. You're talking about scaling capacity, performance, FinOps, everything. So we're going to talk about next week, Carpenter.
Nice.
For now,
I'm excited.
I think we're done for now. Coming up on 30 minutes. We stayed within time.
That's
we
good.
could talk for another 2 hours, but we're not going to do that. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for commenting. Everything will be here next week. This is going to be a weekly thing again. We'll announce timely. And looking forward to next week. Hope to see you all again. Richard.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Cheers.
See ya.
And have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.